people like me. You need people like me so you can point your f***ing fingers and say, that's the bad guy. That's the bad guy. That's the bad guy. That's the bad guy. That's the bad guy.
To the mother relay, we're covering today's top boxing news.
Okay, we'll start with this. Australia's own Taylor Robertson, amateur standout Taylor Robertson. She's set to return to action 2 times in the very near future. This weekend on the undercard of Kambosos versus Haney, and just a little over a week later,
on the 15th, on the undercard of Justice Hooney versus Joseph Goodall.
This weekend's fight will be Taylor Robertson's first fight in the year of 2022, and it appears that her handlers, they're hitting the ground running. They want to keep her busy. They want to keep her active. In truth, I looked up Sarah Higginson, who she's supposed to be facing this weekend, unbeaten Sarah Higginson, and to my surprise, there's no footage available of this fighter.
Not all unbeaten fighters are created equal. Some are blue-chip prospects.
Some aren't, though. Based on this sequence of fights and the amount of time between them, I get the sense that perhaps Sarah Higginson isn't a blue-chip prospect in spite of being an unbeaten fighter. We can see Gretel de la Paz. That's a journeywoman.
With a record like that, she is.
6 wins and 6 losses with 2 draws. I'd say that's a journeywoman level opponent, which leads me to believe that Sarah
might be an unbeaten fighter, but she's no blue-chip prospect.
Taylor Robertson, who capped off last year in the winner's bracket, taking on her countrywoman Kylie Fulmer and securing a points decision, she's moving down in weight. This upcoming fight with Sarah Higginson is down there at flyweight. Taylor will be moving down from bantamweight all the way down to flyweight. And then the fight with Gretel, that's a super flyweight contest.
What the hell's she moving down for?
Listen, I've seen Taylor Robertson in action. I followed her career closely over the years, and I can only deduce that while she is a capable bantamweight, because she's young, because she's only 24 years old, she can cut down to flyweight or super flyweight, and perhaps that will add something to her power, to her punch, because Taylor Robertson, capable boxer that she might be, she's not a big puncher.
She hasn't proven to be a big puncher as a bantamweight, but maybe she can be a big puncher as a flyweight or a super flyweight.
She'll certainly have a size advantage down there over your average flyweight and super flyweight. Taylor Robertson does have the appropriate physical dimensions for a bantamweight, 118-pound fighter.
So just imagine at 112 or 115 pounds.
You might understand the strategy, though. Without any footage available of Sarah Higginson in action, I don't know what it is Taylor is going to be dealing with.
What is this broad? A pure boxer? A boxer puncher?
Is she a pressure fighter? We know that Sarah Higginson hasn't faced the quality of competition that young Taylor Robertson has. Last year, she suffered her first professional loss at the hands of her countrywoman and veteran fighter, Shannon O'Connell. And I'd wager that Taylor Robertson
losing a shotgun Shannon O'Connell on points teaches you more than beating the girls that Sarah's been fighting.
And listen, because Sarah only has 3 or 4 pro fights, there's nothing wrong with her quality of competition. It's what you come to expect, but it's just reality. Taylor Robertson losing a points decision to Shannon O'Connell teaches you more than beating the kind of girls that Sarah's been beating.
Not everybody's got the minerals to go the distance with Shannon O'Connell.
Kylie Fulmer did, and she got battered. She got ragdolled. Kylie Fulmer, also an Australian national, a common opponent between Taylor Robertson and Shannon O'Connell. When she fought Shannon, she got knocked out.
Whereas when Taylor fought her, she got decision.
She went the distance, and she did get outworked in the fight, but she didn't get ragdolled, and that speaks to the ceiling of young Taylor Robertson. That she might have bit off a little more than she could chew with Shannon O'Connell, but she's still on the level. She can hang. She just needs more experience.
And that's what they hope to get her with this sequence of fights. A fight with Sarah Higginson.
And 2 weeks later, a fight with Gretel de la Paz. This weekend's card is a very big card. This upcoming George Kambosos Jr. versus Devine Haney fight. It's a privilege for a young fighter like a Taylor Robertson to occupy a slot on a card like this because it's going to draw a lot of eyes. You're talking about 50,000 screaming quackers.
That'll certainly give her a profile boost.
This time, Neither the flyweight or super flyweight divisions have the same profile as the bantamweight division. Bantamweight, that's 118 pounds. That's where Ebony Bridges holds the IBF, Jamie Mitchell holds the WBA.
Dina Doislin's got the WBO, and Yuli Hangluna's got the WBC.
118 pounds at this time has more of a profile than either the flyweight or super flyweight divisions, and yet young Taylor Robertson is making a move downstairs. I see the logic. I see the strategy.
She wants to amass professional experience at a weight where she'll have some advantages.
A buffer of sorts, so by the time she does return to 118 pounds, by the time she does return to the bantamweight division, she'll have a lot more experience on her side.
Look for Taylor Robertson this weekend on the undercard of Cambosos versus Haney.
We'll see if she can't rack up another professional victory. In other news, a bit of information that heralds trouble in paradise for what was to be the Benn versus Jose Ramirez fight. Rick Mirrigan, who handles the career of Jose Ramirez, took to his social media and stated, "For the rumors that Jose Ramirez turned down Benn, it's complete bullshit. We simply got an offer that just didn't work or fit, and Ramirez makes and has made far more going back 5 years. I've had so many calls on this. We are here to make deals, and if one is close, it gets done."
That's from approximately 1 or 2 days ago.
That is the Rick Mirrigan, Jose Ramirez side of the story, whereas according to Eddie Hearn, he's revealed he offered Jose Ramirez $1 million to face Benn, and Rick Mirrigan turned it down, asking for 2-3 times more.
You know what kind of money they wanted? They wanted the kind of money they made fighting Maurice Hooker.
Do you remember when Matchroom made that offer to Jose Ramirez to come over to their side of things for a one-off situation, a unification match at 140 pounds for a little over $4 million? That dollar amount,
Jose Ramirez said that himself.
he boasted that he stood to make more from the Maurice Hooker unification match than anybody made participating in the World Boxing Super Series.
Jose Ramirez said that himself.
Listen, if you want to know what I think, and you're here, so I'll assume that you do. What he got paid for the Mighty Mo Hooker fight, he got paid because he was a champion, and so was Mighty Mo Hooker. They were made that offer at a time when DAZN, as a platform, was kicking out big cash in order to attract talent, stage fights, and disrupt the market for their competitors. But that time has since passed, and Jose Ramirez, he's not a champion anymore.
And this isn't a unification match.
Rick Mirrigan!
Can mess it up however he likes. He doesn't make $3 and $4 million a fight.
You think Top Rank gave this guy $3 and $4 million to fight Jose Pedraza in his last fight?
Is that what you think? Do you know what numbers are floating out there in the boxing cosmos in association with Jose Ramirez's last fight purse? The numbers that are floating out there are well below $3 and $4 million. They're well below $1 million. It's half that amount. Those are the numbers that are floating out there in the boxing cosmos, and for what it's worth, I believe those numbers, because Jose Ramirez versus Jose Pedraza, that's not a multi-million-dollar fight.
Okay, that's the guy that Jose fought in his very last fight.
Jose Pedraza. And it was a great little fight, and Jose Ramirez secured the W, but make no mistake, he didn't make $3 and $4 million for fighting that guy, and why would he? That's not a $3 and $4 million fight.
You can't justify that kind of spending. You're fucking off a lot of money.
You'd be fucking off a lot of money spending that kind of scratch, that kind of cash, just to get Jose Ramirez in the ring with Jose Pedraza. So let's not kid ourselves. That number, that ballpark figure that's floating out there in the boxing cosmos, it makes the most sense. It makes sense that Jose would have got a six-figure purse, around $500,000, as opposed to $1 million, $2, $3, $4 million for his last fight.
Top Rank is not in the business of fucking off money or overpaying fighters.
You gave Jose Ramirez anything more than $500,000 for a fight like that, that's what you'd be doing. Essentially what I'm getting at is, Jose Ramirez don't make $1 million a fight. He's not a champion. This is not a unification match. And when I look at both sides of the story, I get the impression that while Jose Ramirez is a game fighter who's not afraid of anybody, Rick Mirrigan negotiated himself out of a lot of fucking money.
If Eddie offered him $1 million and what they wanted was 2 and 3 times that amount,
You did is price yourself out. That's what you did.
it was Rick Mirrigan that took to his own social media before Eddie even made these comments.
Saying this and that about what kind of money Jose Ramirez has made in the past. Yeah, the past is the past. You're being offered your market value here today. If anything, he's overpaying you because Jose Ramirez ain't a draw in the United Kingdom where that fight would have presumably taken place. And here in the United States, Jose's not making $1 million a fight.
Well, I'll tell you what, a hit dog will holler.
If you want to know what I think, and you're here, so I'll assume that you do, I see both sides of the story, and I get the impression that Rick Mirrigan priced Jose out of that fight. That's what I see. He was looking for the kind of price, the kind of payday that they negotiated the last time he did some business with Eddie, and yesterday's price is not today's price.
So what the hell's Conor Benn gonna do now?
Who's he gonna fight? I don't know. David Avanesian is spoken for. He's set to get splattered in a few weeks' time by Virgil Ortiz.
I don't know, maybe they can contact Mighty Mo Hooker.
His name was in the hat for that fight. I don't get the sense he's preoccupied with anything. In any event, I do get the sense that Rick priced Jose out of that fight. That's what I think about it.
He's a clown, and everyone knows that. That's why you just laugh, and I'm not going to go back and forth with him because he know what time of day it is.
I don't want to talk about Eddie Hearn, but let me just do this 7-minute segment for Showtime.
When did the beef start? Do you recall what was the?
He know what it is.
I mean, how good was that for me? 7 minutes on Showtime talking about Eddie Hearn.
And it's something very personal, and I gave him a phone call.
Talks about giving me a phone call once. Someone passed me a phone once when I was in New York, and he started telling me he knows people in New York, and I told him to do one, and that was basically the only conversation we've ever had. So
I gave him a phone call a while ago. He know what time of day it is, and it's just that again Again, I don't want to go back into all of that because again, I try to be as professional as I possibly can. But that's the one guy that I can honestly say that if I had the opportunity, I stomp him out.
He's threatening me, and I will just say I'm so scared.
If I had the opportunity, I stomp him out.
But I don't think me and Leonard are ever going to get on, really. I don't know. Look, seems like I goad Leonard with whatever I say, and I don't mean to be rude, but just need to cheer him up.
Seems like everybody's got a problem with Eddie Hearn, and it's pretty obvious as to why that is. He made it crystal clear that should Gervonta Davis become a network and promotional free agent in the immediate and near future, he would try aggressively to sign him. And to that,
The reason all these American-based promoters don't like Eddie Hearn is because he disrupted the market for them.
it's competition is what it is. Healthy competition. But for some reason, these American-based promoters, out of all the different promotional outfits that are out there, they really don't like Eddie Hearn. And it's because, well, he disrupts the market for them.
When DAZN debuted in America throwing all that money around,
They did disrupt the market for these American-based promoters because they were making big cash offers to several guys that are with several different outfits, and some of them bit, some of them, like Mikey Garcia, took the money and ran, and some of them didn't, like Jermall Charlo, like Gervonta Davis.
those bozos didn't take the money.
No strings attached offers that come with big cash incentives, like $7 or $8 million for a Tevin Farmer unification match, when a Tevin Farmer unification match isn't even worth $7 or $8 million. It was the zone's intention to inject a lot of money into the American market in order to attract talent and put on fights.
Although they simultaneously disrupted the market for their competitors.
That's why Bob's not sweet on Eddie, or Lou DiBella, even though he has done some business with him, and that's why Leonard Ellerbe.
Leonard really doesn't like Eddie Hearn.
It's not the first time that Eddie Hearn has tried to get Gervonta Davis to cross over to the DAZN side of things. He's been trying for years, and he's still trying now. When he heard that Gervonta Davis's existing contract with Mayweather Promotions would be up after the Rolly Romero fight, he made it crystal clear, he said it publicly, that he would try aggressively to get Gervonta Davis on the Matchroom side of things if he is, in fact, a network and promotional free agent.
No, I could have told you that Gervonta Davis ain't going nowhere.
In fact, I didn't. I told you if he strays, he won't go far.
Ain't no sunshine when Tank's gone. Only dark times for you. Ain't no sunshine when Tank's gone. And Leonard Ellerbe, why you always talking about me?
I mean, if you're Leonard Ellerbe and you're in the business of promoting Gervonta Davis's fights on behalf of Floyd Mayweather, Mayweather Promotions, you're not going to take too kindly to some other promoter trying to poach your fighter.
When he made Gervonta that offer for a Tevin Farmer unification match,
Gervonta Davis was, in fact, still under contract with Mayweather Promotions, and that can create a bit of an uncomfortable situation for a promoter when some other promoters got more money for his fighter than he does.
remember, Eddie Hearn offered Gervonta Davis something like $7 or $8 million to fight Tevin Farmer.
And according to Gervonta Davis, Leonard Ellerbe, and Al Heyman, they convinced Gervonta that it's all talk. The money's not real, and they're not being serious. But the money was real enough for Jose Ramirez. The money was real enough for Mikey Garcia. The money's been real for Daniel Jacobs on that side of things. To Gervonta, however, I guess it wasn't. They convinced him they're not being serious, and the money's not real. He stayed on their side of things, the PBC and Showtime side of things, debuted debuted on pay-per-view against Leo Santa Cruz, and he's been there ever since. He never left.
But as you can imagine, Leonard's not gonna like some other promoter trying to poach his fighter.
More recently, Eddie Hearn let it be known that if Gervonta Davis is in fact a free agent and he's leaving Mayweather Promotions, he would attempt to pursue him aggressively to bring him into the fray. And
How do you think Leonard feels about that?
I'll tell you how he felt. According to Eddie Hearn, he's stated that Mayweather Promotions sent him a legal letter telling him to stop talking about signing Gervonta Davis because he remains under contract with them.
Well, Gervonta's the one that took to social media and said that he would be a free agent after the Romero fight.
Eddie Hearn didn't just pull it out of his ass that Gervonta Davis is going to become a free agent in the near future and he would like to sign him so long as he's a free agent. Yet Mayweather Promotions thought it important enough to send legal notice to Eddie Hearn to cease and desist pursuing their fighter, assuming that he still is their fighter.
That little butterball's not going anywhere.
I've been saying that from the beginning. No matter what you offer him, Gervonta Davis does not exhibit the faculties that his would-be mentor, Floyd Mayweather Jr., exhibited in his heyday, to where he's going to just break away and do his own thing. Oh, Gervonta Davis might have the desire to some degree to do this, but I don't actually think he's going to do it. He seems like a guy who lets other people do his thinking for him.
That hasn't stopped Eddie Hearn from pursuing him.
That hasn't stopped Leonard Ellerbe from being mad about it. Try and understand that Mayweather Promotions is a small promotional outfit. They are but a subsidiary of Al Heyman's PBC, one arm of it.
Any mention of Gervonta Davis leaving Mayweather Promotions will cause Leonard's mascara to bleed.
Gervonta Davis leaves Mayweather Promotions. What the hell do they have? What do they have?
What's the next generation of talent brought to you by Mayweather Promotions? Besides Gervonta, what do they got?
Not a lot, and certainly not anything equivocal to the fighter that they've built in Gervonta Davis. Look, the kid can draw. At some level, he can, and while his success is nominal, it is success.
They're happy selling just over 200,000 pay-per-view buys.
Yeah, I can tell you right now, with that kind of matchmaking, he's never going to hit his mentor's numbers and have the same success that his mentor, Floyd Mayweather, had in his heyday, not matching him the way he's being matched.
Gervonta's not going to sell 1 million pay-per-view buys fighting guys like Rolly.
But whatever he is selling is keeping Leonard Ellerbe afloat and giving him a job.
If they were to lose Gervonta Davis to some other promoter, who would they replace him with?
Now, because Gervonta Davis is the way he is, I don't actually think they're under threat of losing him, because he doesn't want to go to a top rank to have to earn his money.
They've already convinced him that Eddie Hearn is the devil, even when he's offering him more money up front than they are.
He's not going anywhere, but that doesn't stop Leonard from being a nervous wreck about it.
Yeah, that guy's been edgy for months.
For the most part, Gervonta Davis is Mayweather Promotions' primary source of revenue as far as their fighters.
They can't afford to lose him. They've got no one to replace him with.
So naturally, Leonard is going to take it personal that Eddie Hearn is attempting to poach his golden goose.